Make some noise for Roxy!
It's like the feeling of being on a roller coaster. It's so exhilarating. All of the moves connect to each other. But it's easier than walking. My name is Roxy Milliner, aka B-Girl Roxy, and I do breaking.
So Roxy appears around 2006, and the moment I saw her, I was just like, okay, there's a little something special here.
As a kid, I was very competitive. I did trampolining before. I used to compete for Great Britain. There's a lot of gymnasts who go into breaking because of the similarities in a lot of the movement. So I got really good really quickly. The reason I wanted to start breaking, I was like, oh my God, this is just sick. It's like, it's so fresh and everyone's cool and you can see people's personality when they dance. Probably the most extreme parts of their personality, but you see people do crazy stuff, crazy moves that you didn't think were possible. Looking back now, I realised that breaking was my expression of and my way of dealing with the pain that I was going through. I broke a bone in my back, so I had to stop trampolining. I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to walk again. It was a bit too much for me to deal with on top of dealing with being 15 anyway. It was really horrible. But a lot of the times, I think that's where the best breakers come from. When I'm feeling happy, I dance differently to when I'm heartbroken. When I'm heartbroken, that's when I break the best.
Breaking starts in the Bronx around the mid-70s. People wanted to party and to exchange. Breaking, as well as other elements of hip-hop, were a way to do that. Those elements still exist, I think. There's still a reason to want to dance and to party and to exchange ideas.
Because breaking kind of came from like poverty and struggle, I think the sense of community and helping each other is quite strong.
Yeah,
so
why is that?
When you go down, look, see how I'm faking?
Why?
And I think that's why breaking started in the first place. It was a crazy time of racism and struggle and drugs and gang culture, and the people who started breaking, it was their way of dealing with their pain and expressing themselves like in a way that they can be seen and heard.
You're Roxy, innit? She's literally done all of the major things in the breaking world. No one's probably ever going to catch up.
I won my first event within the first year. I just went in 100%. I was traveling and that was it. Breaking was my life. Still is. Some of the competitions are like really, really huge, and I take 90% of my energy from the crowd in those circumstances. I love it. I'm like, give me all your energy. It is a sport. It's physical and you can put it in competition. It should be in the Olympics.
The judging model consists of 3 domains, and those domains are physical, artistic, and interpretive, and they represent the body, the mind, and the soul. So it's about comparison, it's not marking, and the comparison is like a scale. And how much you dominate those domains is why you'll get the decision or not.
I have won competitions all around the world, but my biggest competitions are actually 2 that I did not win. I lost in the final, but it was that video was the one that kind of went breaking viral. Yeah, it kind of propelled my career quite a bit from that.
Before Roxy, girls didn't break like girls, but she brought the kind of like real feminine aspect to breaking. She'd just been herself, but it influences other girls to be themselves.
Sometimes you'll see me breaking, and then sometimes you'll see me break in a different way, and you'll be like, whoa, it's the same person?
She's really saucy, like she's got so much character and so much sauce and stuff, and I feel like that's something that you can't teach.
I never really tried to be like anyone else. Your goal should be to be your best version, I think. Now that I've had my son, I'm like, I have to work hard now.
I think it's really amazing that there are women in the scene like Roxy that can inspire young girls and just show them, because if you don't see it, you don't know that it's possible. She doesn't have the whole day to just like dedicate to breaking. She's like managing a million things and somehow still ends up just being the best.
I was in a wheelchair for most of my pregnancy because I tore my pelvic floor muscle and I was in the most pain I've ever been in. After he was born, it felt like those dreams where you're trying to run and you're like in slow motion and someone's chasing you. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually done. I can't break anymore. It's kind of like a similar feeling to the first set of horrible stuff that I went through when I was younger. But I got my son out of it. So it's like breaking was born out of that, and then my son was born out of this one. It's easy for your motivation to dip throughout your career. But yeah, after Leo, I was like, I can still do this, come on, let's go.
The Olympics has really changed the level, the approach, the necessary skills. I think as long as breaking is represented in the right way, it's the dawn of the best day it's ever gonna have.
I'd love to be at the Olympics. It's like the biggest opportunity ever. I also have to understand that it's not the end of the world for me if I'm not there, because there's only 16 B-boys and B-girls that are going from the whole world. It's not like there's definitely one from the UK.
I think she's going to win the Olympics, actually. I think she's going to be bringing a gold medal back to Streatham.
Even if she doesn't go any further, like what she's done to this day is more than 2 lifetimes worth. You can't erase it. To have 17 years of visibility, battling at the highest levels, winning some of the top competitions in the world, the accumulation isn't a gold medal. The accumulation is that history. It's that influence. It's that impact. It's the fact that every B-girl today knows who Roxy is.
When it comes to actually breaking, I still feel like I'm nowhere near at my actual peak. I'm like, I just want to break. I want to train. I want to practice. So if I can break and be like, that felt good, it's what I'm here for.
Make some noise for Roxy!